So today, as you already know, I'm presenting on my internship experience. My name is Jacob Bierstaker. Hi, my name is Jacob. My pronouns are he, him. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a sociology major, class of 2023. My hobbies are flags and various sports. So primarily international flags. I have like a thing, like I like memorizing international flags. So you ever see me, around school or just around in general, want to show me a flag, test me out, go for it. And yeah, just a bunch of different sports. And I am looking to get into social work. That is my next step. I am trying to get into grad school right now. I'm still waiting to hear back, but eventually social work is my goal. CCSJ is where I did my internship, CCSJ New York Road Initiative. This semester, I primarily was in New York Road Initiative, but I also have been CCSJ, and also some of my responsibilities kind of come intertwined with CCSJ. So I'm going to start with a brief overview of CCSJ. CCSJ's mission is inspired by Jesuit Catholic educational mission. We're a part of the mission division for Loyola, which is very much kind of out of the Jesuit train of thought and the Jesuits' mission. So we are very much inspired by that. We are committed to reciprocal collaboration with community partners and involvement with people who are marginalized. The key word we highlight there is reciprocal. So not only are we like serving our partners and giving them kind of our resources, but also we are very much getting kind of enrichment and stuff back from our partners. So it's very like both ways within our partners and within the people in which we are involved with. Another one of our main goals within our mission is connecting Loyola students and faculty with the immediate York Road community as well as the greater Baltimore community. So York Road Initiative primarily deals with the immediate York Road community, and we also extend beyond that within CCSJ. We have different partnerships and different sites within Baltimore, not too far, but far away from Loyola, but also just within Baltimore, not immediately involved with the York Road community. And our main mission statement, slogan, motto, it's also on my shirt. People online can't see me, but Loyola Center for Community Service and Justice connects campus and community for a more just and equitable. So you hear that word equity a lot, and that is our main focus. Opposed to equality, I think many of us know the difference, but I don't feel like going into that right now, but equity is one of the main things we focus on. And the aims of CCSJ, as I've kind of already got into, to engage Loyola students and faculty to serve, learn, and lead for a more just and equitable world, as to reiterate what I just said, really trying to connect Loyola students and faculty and kind of extend the people we have on campus, outside of campus, and into the community. To build capacity for a positive change in our local York Road community. So being an active member of the community we find ourselves in, not just sitting here and being very focused internally, but also, again, extending outside of just the Loyola community and being able to be an active member of the local York Road community. And I guess one of the more, I don't know if important is the word, but a different kind of aim we have is to animate Loyola's mission through measuring, highlighting, and communicating our work internally and externally. So I feel like this gets into more like trying to show people kind of what we're about in a way to inspire others to also get involved in this work, to be like kind of an agent of change and to try to inspire other universities to do the same, as many other universities around have also partaken in such work, but to really make sure people understand the importance of our mission and of the work that we do at CCSJ. York Road Initiative. This is so fun. This is from a York Road Community Day, which I'll talk more about. You can see me on the end there. York Road Initiative's goals. So the first goal is to build civic capacity. The main way we do this is trying to be a resource and working closely with the York Road Partnership, which is a local organization that has very much similar goals as York Road Initiative, to try to serve and be an ally to members of the community and kind of just build equity and justice throughout the York Road corridor. So building civic capacity by working through them and through some of our initiatives. Otherwise, that is one of the main ways in which we do that. Strengthening the commercial corridor. That we do that mainly through kind of a variety of things. I think one thing I took part in that was an attempt of this goal was our York Road business crawl. So our York Road Business Crawl is trying to get students out into the commercial corridor, shopping at local businesses, really seeing the corridor and really trying to provide business for York Road commercial businesses. And that would also get students more comfortable out there and more like, because there is a stigma, as we all know. I haven't really talked about that, but the stigma at Loyola with the York Road corridor is very disappointing. And as people kind of say, it's kind of a dangerous place to be and don't feel comfortable for a variety of reasons. So we try to kind of combat that by getting students out onto the corridor, and strengthening the commercial corridor is definitely a priority for York Road Initiative. Enhancing youth development. We attack this from also a few different ways. Bethany, who's here watching, has a great program, H2O Hounds, which is for youth in the community and provides swimming education for the youth in the community. So that's one way. We also have a presence at local elementary schools and other things of that nature that we try to provide support for and enhance youth development in the community. And food security. Our main presence with that is through Fresh Crate, which is a program we have where we take Parkhurst food primarily from the Starbucks, and we have one of our interns deliver food from there to local corner stores and shops, just kind of they provide food to the corridor in that way. And we also have our farmers market, our Go Sound Farmers Market, which we host at 5104 York Road Initiative office, which is right on York Road and right across from the senior side living. So yeah, we also do focus on food security in those ways. So some systemic problems that I have encountered through my time at York Road Initiative and CCSJ that I'm also going into a little bit through my research is kind of the overarching theme is spatial racism is what I'm talking about and what kind of problems we're dealing with. And that involves things that we've heard as sociology majors. I don't know if everybody hearing this as sociology majors, but I feel like most of us in classes where we're talking about things such as redlining, blockbusting, and kind of overall disinvestment in communities of color. I can give a brief overview of redlining for those of you who have not heard of it. It pretty much was a practice that stemmed from earlier 20th century, where there were organizations such as the Home Owners Loan Corporation that marked off communities of color as things such as hazardous and kind of denied them investment and loans for houses. So that's kind of created a lot of disparity in wealth and many other things that has continued. We've continued to see this going forward, and we still see its presence today. As I say, York Road Community Days, you can see like a literal difference across York Road corridor from the east and west side, and you can see the wealth disparities and how that kind of correlates with racial disparities, and you can see the clear systemic racism across one road. Blockbusting was a practice that was pretty much, to put it briefly, real estate agents who would kind of take white homeowners who were scared of minority homeowners coming into their community because of racism prejudice and because of their fear of their property value going down. And they would sell cheap to real estate agents. And then real estate agents would hike up the price, inflate the price, and sell it to primarily Black owners and kind of, work that kind of business, which is very unfair, prejudiced, racist. So yeah, you see that, and then also overall disinvestment in communities of color. And that is something that I have encountered through my time at York Road Initiative. We talk about issues like this and how we see these on the corridor, and this is something I'm also exploring in my research right now. So here's a typical day. At York Road Initiative. I wake up, like everyone. When I walk into the office, I usually greet the person at the front desk. Sometimes it's Bailey, sometimes it's Louisa, sometimes it's Sydney. It's always one of the interns. We kind of have an intern at the front desk who mans it, and I see them as I walk in. Then I kind of make my way over to either the intern space. We have an intern office, or we have like a more open area of desks, and I sit on my computer, I check my emails to see if there's anything immediate I need to respond to, and I check the bridge primarily to see for York Road Community Day attendance. I don't think I've said it so far, but York Road Community Days are my main responsibility, which I'll get into. So I kind of track participation, attendance, and see who's registering for those. So I check the bridge for that. Then I usually, most days, I meet with my supervisor, Kira, and we pretty much talk about anything that's happened, anything that's had like any kind of like checklist items she's given me, or like just kind of if like the weather for the York community days is it's supposed to rain, we have to deal with that. That's the last two have gotten rained out, which is disappointing. And it might rain again on Saturday, but we're monitoring that situation. So yeah, we pretty much are constantly discussing things like that. And then I'm sending more emails, a lot of recruitment type emails, trying to say like, hey, do you want to come to York Community Days? And it's a lot to like groups and organizations on campus, trying to get, a lot of engagement, as much engagement as we can with the corridor throughout Loyola students and with clubs and organizations, trying to have a broad reach, not like leave anyone out, try to be very expansive in our outreach. Yeah, and I chat with my coworkers, it's a very friendly environment. We welcome everyone. I feel like this year we've done somewhat of a better job with inviting pretty much more people into the space. I don't know, I feel like we kind of get stuck within our intern team sometimes. And it's just like, we're in the humanities building. I haven't said where it is, but back of the humanities building across from DGA, the field. But yeah, we have a very friendly, outgoing space where it can get very fun in there. So I recommend coming, and I chat a lot with my friends and coworkers. And then I send more emails pretty much. It's a lot of people have issues with the bridge. I work a lot with the bridge. People have issues with it, and people don't like it. People don't like the bridge. And I deal with a lot of people who have these issues, and it's my job. Here are my successes. I've helped lead, organize, plan, and recruit for 4 successful York Community Days. We only have 4. We have 2 more left, so hopefully it'll be 6. Yeah, so you can see a picture of me here. That is me. I give a little speech about like kind of things I've already talked about in this presentation so far, and about kind of what we're doing here today, our mission, a little bit of a history, a very brief overview of some of the history of York Road, and I pretty much then tell us what we're doing today. So yeah, and on that day I'm there, I'm leading, I'm kind of telling people have different projects, and I also behind trying to figure out the project list and what things we're exactly going to be doing in the community. It could be a variation of things. It's usually around like kind of beautification stuff at maybe local businesses. We sometimes plant flowers. We go to local green spaces. We usually go observe the forest or different parks. And we do this by outreach. We figure out this project list by consulting the York Road Partnership Public Spaces and Greening Committee, and also talking to other community members and finding out like where is their need. So it's very community informed. It's very York Road informed what projects we do. We don't just pretty much go out there on our own. Oh, we think this needs work, or we think this. It's very much a collaborative effort with people in the community. So yeah, I've gotten 315 plus students, not just me individually, a large part in engaging 350 plus students to engage with York Road Corridor through these days. I think there's around, I don't know, like 80 something here. I think that was one of those days. And this picture is about 80 students in a circle. So yeah, I'm very much student centered and trying to engage with students and make sure people are ready to come out and serve. And we have community engagement modules. There's a little process to being able to register. So you need to watch these videos, which are pretty much informative videos on the community and just of like service and kind of preparing your like mindset, just making sure you're in like the right frame of mind going into it. Just little informational videos you need to watch, quizzes following them before we pretty much allow you to step out and serve in the community. They don't take super long, like 15 minutes. I successfully planned a York Road business crawl. It didn't end up happening, but work went into that. I still take a win out of the business crawl, even though it unfortunately didn't end up coming to fruition. But yeah, and I support the York Road Business Improvement District, or York Business Improvement District, which has since gotten approved. So the York bid, as we call it, it was a piece of like legislation which provides now like a committee that kind of aids the commercial corridor and the businesses on it. So that's also greening efforts. That's also just other things of that nature, kind of just providing like aid and support for your growth businesses. And I flyed for that. And I talked to Sarah Sakonis, who's spearheading the mission at that point, or the business improvement district. And that got approved, which is exciting because last time it didn't. So and that is something we're excited about. Intellectual growth. So these are some things that I've kind of learned from a sociological point of view. I've learned a lot about systemic racism in both Baltimore and the US as I've gotten into, and as I'm continuing to research and continuing to learn about. So I don't feel need to go into that any further. Face work, especially I feel like what I mean by that is within like a business setting or within, I guess, within the CCSJ office, I feel like everyone's constantly trying to like save face or do face work. It's like you mess up, or if I don't get like something in on time, I'm constantly saying like, oh, I'm sorry, that like wasn't me, like I won't do that again or something. So it's kind of trying to maintain this image, this face that is kind of ingrained within a workplace like CCSJ and Your Initiative. So I just have kind of done some observation with that. And also just general workplace norms, you know, how you're supposed to carry yourself in an office setting. And like, it's very much like kind of my first experience with an office like this. Like one of the jobs I worked at a Walmart and a Home Goods before this. So I never really worked in an office and never really understood like what the vibe was. I was kind of seen on television. So this was my first experience, like really trying to understand that and kind of how to navigate like workplace norms. And self-growth. I feel like through this experience, I've become a better leader, you know, through my role, especially this semester. I have had to take on a leadership type position. I'm in charge of like people, and there's responsibilities that lend itself to a leader, and also being a senior within the Your Growth Initiative and CCSJ team. I'm in my second year here. For people who haven't been here before, I've kind of had to and wanted to be kind of a leader within the team. I've learned how to do that a lot. So that's been a great part of this experience. Interpersonal skills. It kind of goes hand in hand with communication, but I guess I'm getting more with just like talking to people, dealing with different kinds of people, you know, learning how to just really like I feel like I'm constantly just trying to have to communicate to people, like different kinds of people, different ways, and like having to really navigate that. It's using the communication. I guess what I meant more of that is learning how to write a good email, or learning how to write an email in general is something that has definitely been something for me. I feel like I used to completely obsess over it. Would take like an hour, like so long to write just an email, and like now I feel like I've gotten into a groove with that, and I feel like I've really learned how to communicate in that function. So that's been a part of my my learning experience here, and being a team player. You know, we have a big team. We have a lot of people, a lot of moving pieces, and a lot of people need things from you, and learning how to kind of meet other people's needs, and being able to like assist people in their roles while also not like overdoing it, you know, not overextending yourself, but being a good team player overall. So, questions? Oh, we're skipping questions?
Do you have questions?
Yeah. What was the reason why the York Board business call could happen?
We just didn't get engagement for. We worked with Alana, and like we kind of did that together, and it was a Saturday afternoon, certain Saturday afternoon where there was another big event going on that gathered a lot of students around St. Patrick's Day, and so yeah, just a lot of people. We just couldn't really get engagement from students for that. So.
What do you think, I guess, CCSJ's biggest point of potential growth as you mentioned the organization for a while, especially time at Loyola? Personal growth within a sense as a presence on campus and also presence within the Baltimore community.
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel like being able to have capacity. I feel like we have sometimes it's like a prioritization thing sometimes. Like I don't want to fault it. Like I feel like sometimes we have capacity issues. We have to choose things over other things. Like we have to kind of let some stuff go in order to focus on other things. I guess something we've talked about I feel like I could think about this for a while. But something I think about is really trying to establish a good groove, if possible, with our racial justice formation, which I did not talk about this before. I didn't really talk about racial justice formation with my presentation, but making sure that consists as an element for our student interns, because I feel like that definitely has benefits that we don't always understand. So I feel like that is a point of improvement for us, for sure.
Thank you.